Oops. Falling. Just sat on my book. Watch out, socks. Look, here is the Dreamies. More Dreamies. Morning, everyone. It's Friday, and I hope everyone's well. Socks has been shouting at me for more of his Dreamies. Is that enough? He goes a bit crazed. What am I up to? I thought I'd just check in. I was thinking actually about people who don't listen and people who hurry you. It's all about my thinking to do with the politics of the moment and the world being taken over by bullies and demagogues and essentially people who just ride roughshod over everyone else, and how that's what the world has turned into, it seems. And things like the news this week, where you just watch someone bloviating and telling us this is how the world works, when anybody with any knowledge about anything knows that that's not true, but that most of the world is going to listen to that version of the world because it sounds convincing, because a big fat man, a shouty man is telling us. And I was thinking about people in my life who are bullies, who've been bullies. Socks, people can't see that. And it's the way they don't listen and the way they go, yeah, when you're telling them something. There's two particular, or three maybe. Somebody I worked with, somebody who was involved in publishing with me, and whoops, he sneezed in my face, and a apparent friend. And I'd be explaining something that was often quite complex and ambiguous, something maybe that I hadn't made up my mind out about yet. And they would interrupt and go, yeah, and talk over the top of you, which kind of robs you of a place in that conversation. It robs you of your own uncertainty in a way. And I think uncertainty is a good thing. I think being able to think things out with somebody, to trust them, not to trounce you, or trust you to trust them, not to ride roughshod over you, is really important. And when people want to seize the turn-taking back off you and just go, yeah, I understand better than you, it's very disconcerting. And I think we need to afford each other the time and space to actually think properly about things. I was reading a big article about fascism and how it flattens everybody out into caricatures. It flattens their opinions. It coarsens everything. And that all rings true. And that's how people get away with just telling blatant lies about the world. And force everybody to see the world through their eyes. And again, it's not listening. It's not listening on purpose, deciding that not listening is the way to go about things. And so I think to counteract it, we should do the things that we do best. Speaking as readers, speaking as writers, as people who are engaged in ideas and complicated thoughts about things, we should give each other the chance to explain things properly and not coarsen things, not flatten things out, not make things easy for the rest of the world, not caricature ourselves. And I keep saying it in these videos about taking your time and thinking things out, not rushing at things. A lot of the YouTube videos about books are about people consuming things as fast as possible, as cheaply as possible, getting through them, ripping through books, or I don't like them, so I'm going to get rid of them, or I've not even looked at them, but I'm going to get rid of them, and I'm going to go out and get loads more. And you see people shopping and just filling baskets with stuff. And a lot of it is people talking about books that they're going to read not the books they've read and thought about. And so I guess I'm pushing people to not to fall for the blandishments of a culture that tell you to hurry up, consume things, have an opinion, and hold it hotly, defend it with your life in a kind of furious way, to retrench into cliched opinions. It's all about cliches, isn't it? The worst thing about fascism and fascists and bullies is that they embody the worst kinds of cliches. They're just people stomping about, spouting cliches. I remember reading a thing about thought cancelling cliches, which was an idea in the 1960s, which is even more relevant now in the age of the internet. It's much more relevant because 3-word slogans are employed by fascists, by people in power, to cancel thought, to simplify argument. It all comes from religion. It's all, you can wrangle all you like about your mixed feelings, but if somebody goes, God is good, that's the end of the conversation as far as they're concerned. And we've had lots of examples in recent years using the same formula. In this country, we had Get Brexit Done, thanks to stupid old, what's he called? Boris Johnson, who loved the 3-word slogans as a kind of thought-cancelling exercise. Anyway, I've been thinking about all of this stuff quite a lot, and wanting to encourage people to slow down and think, and not just blindly consume. I've started to hate that word binge that they use for people watching TV. And as we know, when they talk about that, it's just reading, isn't it? Read as much as you like. But binging is a very interesting one, because binging makes you feel sick. It's a kind of regurgitative exercise in absorbing story. And that's not good either. I think story is something that we take in naturally. We understand stories at a very deep kind of human level. And we don't just gallop through them. They have to be nourishing. I'm using that word again. We are nourished by the narratives that we all tell about the world. And so they can't be rushed. And we have to listen to other people's truths, I suppose. Yep. So anyway, how to counteract the bullying tides of nonsense that are assailing us every day from every source. Newspapers, TV, the internet, our friends, the people around us. People regurgitate this news all the time in a kind of hashed way. And you have to not take on the received opinion, not take on the kind of off-the-peg opinions of others. We have to reach into the stories and find them out for ourselves and find out what's really going on. And again, it takes time. And what you don't need is people going, yeah. I know better than you. That's what I've always watched out for, whether it's in publishing or editors, agents, journalists. I've met them all who went, yeah. I know better than you. Teachers at school, lecturers at university, colleagues in universities. When I worked in TV, I did 2 summers. As I've explained once on earlier videos, at the BBC and Granada, I met producers and script editors who would just block your opinions and go, yeah, I know better than you, and I'm not going to listen to you. I will tell you. Anybody being dictatorial wants to flatten the story, flatten the complexities, and not let you tell your story. And it's very important that you do. And that's what writing and reading is essentially all about paying tribute to the complexity and the ambiguity of people's own stories. Sound like I'm lecturing now. I'm not. I'm gently encouraging you to not take things at face value. That's the bottom line. That's what it's about. Don't take things at bottom value. At face value. The bottom line is don't take things at face value, not vice versa. If you see what I mean. That's really important. Dig behind, find out the real story. That's what readers do. Okay, I'm not in the middle, a bit almost finished. Frankenstein by Jeanette Winterson, which I'm having to power through a bit. Having said all of that, I'm not particularly enjoying it. Jeanette's somebody I read in the 1990s, in my 20s, and I loved her time-travelling, zipping about, her novels that juxtaposed different eras and different characters and talked about love and storytelling. I'm not sure about this one yet. I think I'm too attached to the whole Frankenstein story myself. Maybe it's that. Maybe I'm too involved in Frankenstein and Mary Shelley. But I don't think so. I think I'm just bored by anything about AI. It's so boring. It's so boring. And some people seem to really get excited about the potential or the dangers or the, just no, it's not interesting to me. It really is like that pig swill bin at the end of school dinners. As I said before, we all chucked our leftovers in and they blended them together, mashed them all together and fed them back to the pigs. That's AI. Anyway, I will finish this quite soon and be on to my next thing from the book bag. And it's the weekend and we'll be seeing friends because it's going to be sunny and there's blossom out on the trees in the garden and we're going to sit outside, hopefully. So there's nice things coming up. What else? I think that's everything for now. I finished a big project yesterday. I wrote 3,000 words in a day because I knew I was at the end of this particular manuscript, this story I've been working on since the beginning of January. It's a first draft done of 70-odd thousand words. I've just kept at it and kept at it. And it's the story of when I was lecturing at UEA, the first couple of years of that, the end of the 1990s, and teaching writing. This is why everything's in my head, swirling around in my head that I was explaining before, because my approach to teaching was very much about, I'm not there to be dictatorial and tell you how things work. I'm here to encourage you to work it out for yourself, to never take things at face value. So that has been going through my head a lot. The debt that I owe various teachers and mentors and friends who encouraged me on that way. So I don't know what will happen with that book. My agent is still trying to, or will be going back to trying to sell my thriller from last year. But things feel a bit difficult in the publishing front. As he said, I've got so many things against me. My age, my gender. It's a difficult one. Nobody wants to know from some old bloke at 55. I'm laughing, but I'm not happy. The idea that I've been blessed with a kind of privilege through who and what I am is astonishing, given that I come from, a white working class background in the Northeast and gay to boot. All the things that nobody's bothered about. And certainly I've never found a place within the world of books that's felt quite homely enough. But it's good. It means you never sit on your laurels. Which sounds like sitting on your hat to me. It always sounds like Julius Caesar's taken off his little crown of laurels and set them down and sat on them. Anyway, I will go and I will see you all again quite soon. Socks is dozing after his catnip dreamies. Say goodbye, Sucky. Yes, he's saying goodbye. And I will see you all again quite soon. Goodbye.